Something better to say than "oh yeah" at the start of every show. Daniel, do you have any ideas?
I think you should say it's been a hell of a week, because you say that almost every time.
Oh, yeah, it's been a hell of a week.
It's been a hell of a week.
It's been a hell of a week.
Has it been a hell of a week?
Hell yeah.
God. I would say it has been. I don't know. Every single time, it always amazes me how I never have a nice, calm, relaxing weekend. It's always something.
I know. Well, it's spring. Everybody's crazy in the spring. You know, we've all just been dormant, like in our cryopods up here in the beautiful state of Wisconsin, just freezing to death and wishing we were in Texas.
It is true. Like, once it starts to get warm, everybody immediately starts driving like psychopaths.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a drug.
It is. It's like, finally, people are getting enough vitamin D. That's the vitamin you get from the sun, right?
Vitamin degeneracy?
Vitamin degeneracy? Well, that's just Milwaukee.
Was that all footage of Milwaukee at that bumper video?
Actually, yeah. The bumper video is from a video postcard.
Man, it makes Milwaukee look amazing.
They used to make those, like a videotape you could send to your friends when you went to a new city.
Now we just have TikToks and pictures of food.
Mm-hmm. Everywhere looks the same.
Yeah. Milwaukee used to look great. And then you see what it looks like now, and it's like, man, this is looking like a really early version of New York when it was starting to turn to crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still got pockets of goodness. But yeah, that bumper video, like, it makes it look like the most amazing theme park ever. Yeah. Like there's always a circus, and it is actually true. They have so many festivals in the summer. It's like every weekend is some kind of festival, Irish Fest or Polish Fest or Mexican Fest or whatever. They're always looking for a reason to party.
Don't they have like a Harley festival?
Oh yeah, and the city farts for like a week. It's awful.
It's so good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. I made Milwaukee look really good, but I figured a little local flavor wouldn't hurt, you know? Like, we are proud Wisconsiners or Wisconsinites or whatever the hell. I've heard both. Which is it? It's Wisconsinites, right?
Cheeseheads.
Cheeseheads. Yeah. Cheeseheads is another good one.
Wisconsinite makes it sound like we're like some kind of biblical tribe that got destroyed by Israel. You know,
yeah.
There's the Hezekiahites, the Amalekites, and the Wisconsinites were all wiped out by Israel.
No, you can't get rid of Wisconsinites. We're invincible.
It's true.
Our livers will beat the shit out of you.
It's true that just your livers alone, like, little known fact, when Wisconsin people pass away and go to that great beer keg in the sky, their liver sticks around to continue kicking ass for like 3 or 4 years. It's a fact.
I've seen it.
Yeah, so it has been actually a pretty busy week. I did an interview with Arthur in Cali, or Arthur in Texas. I don't know which he prefers. I know his Substack is called Arthur in Cali, and it was awesome. I've still got to get it edited. But I've got another one scheduled for Monday. I've got actually two more things scheduled for Monday. So I'm going to do a full day of work, and then I'm just going to like get off the work laptop and just get on two more interviews. One of them's not an interview. The other one's with Newsfist, with his conspiracy show on the conspiracy pyramid. We got together after the last one, and we were like, man, we're coming to the end of this conspiracy pyramid. We've stretched it for almost 6 episodes. I think we're going on 6 and 7 now. The higher you get on the pyramid, the longer the episodes get. But I was like, what are we going to do after this? And he goes, I don't know. What do you think? And I was like, have you seen a conspiracy iceberg? Adam, you know what I'm talking about, the conspiracy icebergs.
Yeah.
Pretty there's plenty of stuff to do on conspiracy icebergs. It's just like thousands of pages of well, not pages, but just thousands of little lines that don't make any sense. You've seen these.
Yeah, give me an example. Like, what's the silliest one you've seen?
Oh my gosh.
I remember all the way at the bottom, there's God's ego death.
Yeah. And then
like JFK was the driver.
That's my favorite one. Yeah, JFK was driving the car. That's my favorite one. But it is like that. We're not going to run out of shit to do, so me and Newsfist are going to keep going with the conspiracy stuff. And I have heard many times now from his comment section that I am the conspiracy guy now. And I'm never beating the allegations.
That's great.
I accept it. I see that I'm perceived this way.
I think you're more like what No Agenda's term, you're more of a conspiracy therapist.
A conspiracy therapist?
You were a conspiracy theorist like 5-6 years ago. When you were staying at my house and I'd come home from work and you'd have like a PowerPoint teed up of like how Devil's Tower was a tree, or
it is.
How, like, I don't know, something about fractals. Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm just thinking, how am I going to get this guy to an insane asylum?
Yeah.
You probably just come in, I'm like, oh God, not this again.
Good times.
Yeah. Well, I don't have conspiracy stuff to start with.
Damn it.
But I do have some stuff.
Did you saw the disc I picked up for disc golf?
Oh yeah, I did see that.
It's literally titled The Truth.
The Truth.
Yeah.
The disc of truth.
Yeah, so now I get to throw the truth around when I go disc golfing.
Well, that's pretty good for a freaking disc golf thing. I don't have one that's labeled truth. I have ones that are labeled like, I don't know, like the torpedo or something like that, like stupid ones. But of course, I got all mine for free because I'm a moocher off of real disc golf people. Before we get into the truth, though, I think I have some funny ones. Because that's how I like to start this. That's how I like to start this ridiculous show. Classic.
Real quick,
yeah.
Do I sound too loud?
No, you're good now.
Okay, I swear, like a gnome keeps sneaking over to my desk and turning up my gain. I don't know why this knob keeps moving, but it just does on its own. Anyway,
my guess is it's probably a Windows gnome. Which, Daniel, actually, you sent me something about Copilot. Do you want to tell us about that real quick?
Oh, talking about Microsoft saying, "Guys, we're just kidding. We never talked about it. You heard it wrong. We never said that this was going to help you with work and everything, and that this is going to be the best source of all your information. We were lying. Just kidding, though. We were talking and saying it was just going to be a fun little gag tool.
Yeah,
for the memes. It's not really meant to do anything other than just be a chat bot for you to just screw around with.
It's like, dude, is that why you stuck it in everything?
Isn't that why it built Windows 11 from the ground up?
Yeah. So okay,
I hate it here.
Wait, I thought we loved it here. Hang on, what happened?
I hate it here now.
Don't you know
Microsoft.
that Jesus is
it's
risen?
So annoying.
Microsoft says. Microsoft.
What a glorious day.
Microsoft says Copilot is for entertainment purposes only, not serious use. Firm pushing AI hard to consumers and businesses tells users not to rely on it for important advice.
Is this from the Babylon Bee?
Dude, yeah, it kind of feels like that, doesn't it? Because now the AI bubble is bursting. They're trying to do a controlled demolition. They want that thing coming down in a neat little pocket like the World Trade Center,
Mm-hmm.
They don't want it falling over and knocking over other towers that don't have the right insurance stuff, right? So they are slowly releasing the steam out of the AI stuff. And a lot of billion-dollar corporations or multi-billion-dollar corporations are just eating crow right now. They feel so stupid because they spent all this money on what amounts to a magic trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shareholders.
It's
the
funny
shareholders
to
want to
watch.
see it.
It's super funny to watch because, like, Disney's not giving up. They're dumping more money into it, hoping to get something out of it since they dumped way too much money into it. Microsoft, NVIDIA, and I think one other company has, like, dumped a crap ton more money into Sam Altman to keep it going because, guys, we put all of our, like, coins into the corner on this one. We kind of need to make sure we get a turn out of it. It's never going to happen. Sorry to tell them that.
It's over.
Some people are going to make out like bandits, but a lot of them are really in trouble.
Well, that's exactly right. A lot of people are going to make out like bandits with their little golden parachutes, and then they're going to, fly off to their little bunkers in Antarctica and, wait out the storm. Or get their faces changed like that weird guy who pretends to not be Jeffrey Epstein, who is definitely Jeffrey Epstein.
That's funny.
What?
You didn't hear about that?
That's
No.
funny.
What is it?
Before we move on from the AI stuff, I wanted to ask, did you also see that I think it's called Micron, one of the leaders of RAM companies, when Sam backed out of their deal, they're like, wait, you didn't actually have the money to fund all the RAM that you were buying from us? You were just handing me a sticky note that says, I owe you?
Yeah.
And
my
walked away
God.
saying, hey, we can't buy it now. And I'm like, so all the RAM shortage that was caused from this, it was bought up from the stock, and you guys backing away from the consumers saying, hey, screw you guys, we're going this way. I hope your company burns to the ground. I hate it when I saw that RAM prices were over $1,000 for like just a stick of like 8 gigs of RAM.
This is not
It
funny
was
anymore.
insane.
This is not funny anymore. It was funny for 2 years. We've been covering the AI stuff for 2 years now, and it was funny for 2 years. It's no longer funny. It's no longer funny, guys. I was listening to a little thing about the Strait of Hormuz.
Huh?
You ever hear about the Strait of Hormuz?
No.
It is the artery through which passes a gigantic slice, if not the majority, of energy production globally. China is completely dependent on the Strait of Hormuz for its energy output. It consumes half of the electricity in the world. And now the Strait of Hormuz is basically occupied by the United States and its lovely allies, meaning that China can no longer get the energy it needs to make tiddlywinks for us Wisconsinites.
Great.
We're dead. So, on a lighter note, how about millennial jokes? We like these. Right? This is what it's like trying to small talk with a millennial.
How am I doing? Let's see. Okay, so the world is on fire, literally. The polar ice caps are melting. I just heard that BoJack Horseman was canceled, and every time I leave my house, I have to spend $40 cause late stage capitalism. So yeah, that's how I'm doing. How are you doing?
Ugh.
Truth?
It's true.
Would you throw your truth frisbee at this guy's face, Adam?
Yeah. Lately, though, talking with millennials who would normally have this kind of response, they're more just like, it is what it is. You know? Like people that I would talk to like 2-3 years ago, they would respond exactly like this. Now they're just kind of like, anyway, what's for dinner?
Yeah. We're tired now.
We don't have the capacity anymore.
Right. We always said people would get tuckered out from this, right? Like all this end of the world crap. And it's like at a certain point, it's like, man, as long as I can get a 6-pack of PBR on the weekend, I'm good. And, you know, commutes suck. What are you going to do? I'll never own a home. That's what it's like. You know, but things are changing, and I was having so many thoughts this week about how fast things are changing. You know, even when we started this show, there was still just a modicum of the understanding that most people watched the news and like took it seriously. Now it seems that only boomers everywhere are watching the news and the stock market, which is, you know, a great sign. But here's a funny bit that was going around showing how weird it's getting out there. And, you know, boomers are still watching it because before I even play this, Adam.
Oh, my goodness. What is that? Is that war paint? That's the weirdest beard I've ever seen.
Now, Daniel, you have a beard. No, you don't.
Yeah, this is...
Wait, last time I saw you didn't have a beard.
I do, though. I actually do. I let it grow out. I haven't cut in forever.
Does this look like a normal beard to you?
No. This looks like somebody just painted it on. And then, like, it's like when you do, like, a bad haircut and you, like, cut part of your beard and you're just trying to, like, fudge it so you paint a little bit to cover up to make it look like it's real. Yeah, this is what it looks like from this angle.
He looks...
because it's too far away.
It looks like...
He looks like a character from Dune.
Yeah. It looks like he did face paint at the carnival for like a person who's gonna rob a gas station. That's what it looks like.
Yo, North Carolina, whose mans is this from the Channel 17 News right here? Why he look like that?
Oh my God, it is painted on.
The glasses is crazy.
They painted his eyebrows? What is going on?
Look at his eyebrows.
Oh my God. I just looked at the eyebrows and noticed that right away. I was like, wait a minute. Wait, who's going on? Hang on. You're telling me the makeup like artist in the back that does everybody's hair and makeup and everything is like, all right, you look good.
Yeah. Well, I was
sent him right on there.
Apparently, Ben Shapiro is now the kingmaker among makeup artists with the eyebrow stunt he pulled, which unreal. The balls on Ben Shapiro to come out with eyebrows like that and be like, you don't see anything. You don't see anything. These are my normal eyebrows.
They're just gonna get 5% bigger every time he shows himself on screen.
Yeah.
So he is just only eyebrows.
Well, that's what they said about his yarmulke for the longest time. Was like every time they see him, it gets bigger. I think the yarmulke is receding, but that dark energy is going into his eyebrows.
He probably needs to see the doctor about that receding yarmulke.
Loves him, yo. Nobody can possibly love him and let him go outside. But chill. Look at his mans over here. He looking like, yo, I gotta put up with this shit every day, yo. I be telling this motherfucker, go on. You need to scrub that shit off his face, yo. This motherfucker don't be listening to me, yo.
Hey, yo, so I just looked it up. This is what he really looked like.
Yeah, he's tripping.
looks like they just put a stand in it. They just should have colored
It literally looks like clown makeup.
It does, doesn't it? Now people watch this stuff, and it's another thought I was having about what's changing is that, Arthur and I were talking on our interview about the differences in generation and why people fall for scams, especially older people. And I don't think it's because they're stupid. I think it's because they're used to trusting people who look like authority figures and sound like authority figures, right? Like the man in the suit, Walter Cronkite type, comes up and says, well, the polar ice caps are melting more this year, and you need to do something about it or the penguins are going to die. And they go, Jesus, really? That guy sounds so important. And they do that for decades. And now you can just call them up and say, excuse me, sir, did you know that you can save 20% by buying me 500 gift cards right now? And they go, oh, God damn it. These serious men. The official man is calling, and he needs me to buy gift cards from Dick's Sporting Goods right now.
You know how many text messages I've gotten from Donald Trump?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot?
Yeah. This is Donald Trump. I need your money.
Yeah.
I love the old classic, this is the IRS, but we need you to pay in Apple gift cards.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the best bit right here.
He really looked in the mirror and said, hell yeah.
Hell yeah, right there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Now, another thing you brought to my attention, Daniel, was the Glizilla. Or no?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, was this you? I don't remember.
I don't know if I sent you it, but I remember something going around like this.
Yeah. The Colorado Rockies. Sorry?
Go on, Daniel.
Is this a competitor to IKEA's like entire foot long freaking hot dog that they were selling?
I bet it's the same supplier.
So it looks like a 16-inch long hot dog with macaroni and cheese and salsa. Am I correct?
I mean,
I would say so.
I'm assuming it's ketchup and mustard, but I have never seen macaroni and cheese on a hot dog. I've seen it on like a burger. Both are disgusting to me. This is the Glizilla. Not that guy. This. Baseball team unveils 2-foot-long hot dog called the Glizilla. Over the last few years, sports teams across the world have been upping their game when it comes to food offerings because, $8 for a hot dog and $5 for a small drink, wasn't enough. Now they're back. No more has that been the case than in Major League Baseball, which with some teams coming up with some wild menu items. That includes the Colorado Rockies, who have taken things to a whole new level with their Glizilla. Here's a video, actually.
Ugh. Oh, it comes in a special box.
Oh, yeah. You carry it like a basket, right?
Like a briefcase.
This is actually a recreation of the basket they put baby Moses in to rescue him from Pharaoh. Right there. You remember that scene in the Prince of Egypt?
Need the AI video. Yeah, redo Prince of Egypt where it's not baby Moses floating into the palace. It's just a hot dog with mac and cheese on it.
AI bros, get on it. So yes, this is the Glizilla core as branded by the Colorado Rockies. I better not see anyone buying this, one said. Second date idea. We eat the Glizilla lady and the tramp. I'm sorry. We eat the Glizilla lady and the tramp style.
That's horrible.
0% chance that bun survives one bite.
Is this fake news?
No,
look at the other headlines on this page.
This is real. Here's a video of somebody who bought the Glizilla, which it looks worse when you don't have the mac and cheese on it.
Why would you not get the mac and cheese? What an idiot.
What? I mean, we're back, baby. We're back to the early 2000s. We're all going to get fat again. Super Size Me 3 is going to come out. The guy who made it's going to recover from alcoholism and come back from the dead. You know,
Yeah.
It'll be all right. We're going to be all right. Forget.
I wonder how much it costs. $45.
What?
Wait.
Oh. Okay. I was gonna say we are going back to 2005, but no, we're not.
No, we're not.
$45 for a hot dog.
No, it's this is ridiculous. Come on. And you know,
What is that? The $25 version right there that they skimmed off everything, just left it with ketchup and mustard.
It costs extra to not get the macaroni and cheese on it.
Probably.
Happy Easter, everyone. He is risen. Here's freaking Glizilla. What are we doing?
He is Glizzin indeed.
Yes, Glizzin, yeah.
What are we doing, Cenk? What are we doing? Oh my goodness gracious!
They'll sell the extra protein version for $55.
Oh yeah, they'll just pump it with a syringe full of like whey protein.
Yeah,
so you get your extra soyness out of it.
Got to build that fake muscle.
Apparently. Okay. Here's a fun one. Now, did you guys see Mr. Glenn Beck? He went and saw the launch of Artemis 2.
No, I did not see him watch it. I did watch. Well, I missed the launch, but I have watched the launch, and then I promptly watched Conspiracy Music Guru's "Space is Fake" video.
That is one of the catchiest songs I've ever heard in my life.
It's so good.
I was this close to using it to open the show, but instead I wanted to watch my highlight reel of Wisconsin in 1996. So, but yeah, Conspiracy Music Guru did an amazing music video called "Space is Fake." It's so ridiculous, but I freaking love it. I got all kinds of messages from people, and I was seeing it all over the place. Like, did you guys know we're going back to the moon and it's happening tomorrow?
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah, I was kind of like shocked. I'm like, wait, when did this start up again?
Yeah, well, I believe, let me see. Okay, Glenn Beck posted this. He says, God is great. God is great. I originally found this post through another person who said that the United States is just a fun house for boomers now.
4, 3. Let's go for your left. Great call out. The rocket is on its own.
Man, I've been thinking about, like, if this is actually real, the amount of bullets you'd be sweating.
Oh, being
embarking on the being on the rocket and then
Yeah.
being in space for what, 9 days?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I have my own plenty of conspiracy theories about space, but just like imagining that, like, I can't even sit in my cubicle for more than 8 hours without losing my mind. Can you imagine being in a capsule
No.
in the middle of nowhere
I actually
with a broken toilet?
But hey,
Oh my God,
spoiler
yeah, that's
alert!
right.
Spoiler alert! Yeah, you're in a tiny little capsule for like a week. So my guess is that they are very well trained, and they also have access to certain kinds of pharmaceutical options to help them if things get crazy.
I'm
Because
still inspired that they met their diversity quota.
Oh, yes. But here's what's funny is not a single crew member is gay. I looked it up.
Damn.
When I did one of my Wagey streams this week, which is basically exclusive to Telegram now, I was watching this and I'm like, all right, so they got 3 guys and one of them's a black guy who seems like a pretty decent person, quite frankly. He did like a little Easter message, which was a little bit heartwarming. But then, they got their woman, and I'm like, which of these people is gay? None of them are gay. So they don't get all the diversity points. They get like a C+.
It's a passing grade.
Well, yeah, exactly.
They got the at least you tried.
They did try. But the people who were most excited about Artemis 2 was Glenn Beck viewers.
I just like in this freeze frame, it looks like the rocket's shooting out of his head.
Perfect. Just look at it. We're going back. We haven't done this kind of a mission since 1972. 1972 was the last time they did this.
And then they stopped doing it because it was just expensive and wasn't really doing anything for like PR anymore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it seems like we're doing everything we can to restore faith in the United States. It's as if there's like a puppet master animating the body of what the United States used to be. It's like, you remember space, right? I did a stream. Part of my other wagey stream was on cargo cults, where people who lived on this island during World War II basically believed that the cargo drops and the planes going overhead were from their ancestors, bringing them blessings. And then they stopped because the war ended. And so these people started building radio towers and watchtowers and runways out of like sticks and stones. They started making clothes that looked like military fatigues, and they started marching around the base because they thought that if they recreated the conditions that the military displayed in World War II, they could make the cargo drops come back.
Yeah.
That's what's going on here.
That's a good parallel.
Yeah.
I think that's also why this whole launch seemed to come out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it was in the movie Apollo 13, which is probably one of the most boring movies I've ever seen. But last time I tried to watch it, I couldn't finish it. But yeah, in that movie, it's like nobody cares about the Apollo missions anymore because they've seen it. We've landed on the moon multiple times. Apollo 13's just kind of like, I guess we'll do it again.
Mm.
And then there was the whole disaster, which, may or may not have happened. Who knows? But yeah, that's what this feels like. It feels like, I don't know. How do you get people to care about space right now?
Well, it was Apollo 13 was the perfect PR stunt to get people looking back at space again. If you want to look at it cynically like I do, because, my background's in media. I think in terms of television, right? So it's not about what actually happened. It's about how did this affect public consciousness, which is it's one of the most understated but most important things you could possibly talk about in the modern world. What is the public thinking? What does the public believe in? Does sending a little rocket around the moon actually matter? Or is it about what it does to the American people's minds, right? And you can see here the effect that it has on a guy like Glenn Beck, who I like. I mean, I don't listen to Glenn Beck, and I have nothing but, positive feelings for him and what he does, even though I totally disagree with everything that he does on his show. And I think talking to AI George Washington is certifiably insane. I don't have any ill will toward the man. But look at this reaction.
God's great.
That's so bright.
Really bright.
God's great.
It's like right.
That's why you go to the moon. So there's no question in my mind that regardless of what you think about the reality of this sort of thing, this is a production. Period.
Well, and you get two different kinds of reactions out of it. You get people like him who look at what is a technological marvel and say, yeah, God did it. It's amazing. And then you have all the other people that are like, F yeah, science, bitch. Like it generates a reaction on every side when you see something like this.
Yeah, I actually tuned in live to one of their little media broadcasts, and it was another thing I pointed out on my Wagey stream, which was the overuse of the word humans they rarely say people. They rarely say men, women. They always say humans. So I actually took a sound clip from that here.
My grandkids, or maybe Ike's grandkids, or Christina's, or Jeremy's, or somebody somewhere. Tell stories of these times up here, because some of them are going to be unbelievable. There's beauty, but there's human elements too, and I just think it'd be fun to share in this human adventure. The key part of human exploration is the human, and come.
Interesting.
I don't know if it means anything, but there is this hyper focus on the word humans. And it just reminds me of the human element. We're all the same. We're all trying to get to space, thus the diversity quota. And listen, I think that I was pleasantly surprised by the attitudes of the people who are apparently or allegedly on that spacecraft right now. They picked really good people this time. They didn't pick anybody sneering. There's nobody up there going like, oh, yes, I'm so proud to be the first black man in space. No, he goes, I hope someday, we're not saying that I'm the first black man to go around the moon. He says, I hope that someday we're saying I'm one of the many men who went around the moon. The PR is excellent. The problem is the production value is mediocre. But there's also these tells, like the toilet story, right? So this is an example of down there thinking. So after the launch, they're just sitting in space. They go around the moon, and we'll see some pictures later, I'm sure. But in order to get people's brains back on this thing, they always have something to get to the lowest common denominator. There's always something about the freaking toilet on these things. Isn't that funny?
Isn't that like a Masonic thing?
I don't... Masonic?
I seem to recall a long time ago, maybe it's just generally a cult. You have to signal the root chakra or something all the way at the bottom. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about, but
that sounds pretty schizo to me. But I think I know what you're talking about, because I'm certain listen, man, it sounds schizo to say, isn't that a Masonic thing? But think about it. They always have to do this.
The Orion spacecraft launched successfully, but not everything went as planned for the crew on board. While orbiting Earth, the Artemis 2 crew called back to mission control, reporting an issue with the toilet. Now, after some troubleshooting, it appears the bathroom is back up and running, and this marks the first toilet designed for a deep space mission.
So they didn't have toilets on the other ones? I think they just had it in their suits, right? Something like that.
I physically remember them talking about toilets they had on the spaceships before, so I don't know how this is for the first one.
And who could forget the scene in Rocket Man where his head gets stuck on the toilet and he comes out with all this blue chemical all over his head?
Or that was also a scene in Apollo 13.
Yeah. There was a scene, and then they did the liquid release or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So they actually have, so this is one of the things. So they have a live stream going of the whole thing, right? And I tuned in just in time to see them do the liquid release into space. And you could see all these little particles going by on the outside of the spacecraft. Here's a clip from that live stream talking about this exact problem.
Talking about some wastewater dump. The Universal Waste Management System, or basically the space toilet on the Orion spacecraft, typically dumps that wastewater every day overboard. It's vented overboard, much like what happened during the space shuttle era.
Always a focus on this. Is it because it looks cool, or is it because it's just silly? Either way, we're looking at it now, aren't we?
I mean, I don't know. It might be a way to get the lower tiered humans to watch. They get that.
People
understand. Oh, the toilet
toilets
broke. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Let me watch this Artemis thing.
I mean, do you remember during the Ocean Gate thing? That was another focus, was the chemical toilet on the machine.
I was always just thinking about that Xbox controller.
It was Xbox controller had me.
Yeah, but it just got stupider and stupider, where they were like, yeah, the toilet is backed up, or the toilet has a problem on the Ocean Gate craft. And so people started making memes showing, soy jacks peering out the windows as these, green fumes spring up behind them. always this. It's always a toilet problem. And then there's the other thing is they have a live stream. I got to show you this. I got to show you what the outside of the spacecraft looks like. They've got like a couple cameras set up. Let me see if I can find this. Because I was watching this. It made me laugh a lot. This is their shot live on the outside of the spacecraft. How's that look to you, Adam?
Potato quality.
Yeah. Now, why would they do it in potato quality?
Well, the data has to travel a really long way, Aaron.
Okay, so then why don't they put a little delay on it? You know, like they did with this. Why does this look so good? But the outside of the spacecraft looks so bad. Oh, because the camera is in deep space conditions and all of that stuff. Nonsense. You can run a little cable from the camera up the, solar panel or whatever it is into the spacecraft, use the same thing to send it back to Earth. And they're over here talking about, 186,000 miles. And then they do their little conference and they're like, oh, this is live or whatever.
That looks more HD.
Yeah.
Well, never mind.
For the most part, it just looks like garbage. One of the funniest things, though, is that when they took pictures of the Earth, the first one they sent out, it wasn't this one. It was, let's see here. If I can get this right here. It was this one. And everyone was like, they did the meme where the girl can't take a picture of anything without including a little selfie in it. Which is really funny. But Miss Producer and I had a great conversation last night. I said, sweetheart, all right. I said, let's pretend that you want to create like a 2-minute sizzle reel of like, and it's got to be like a Red Bull thing, right? We're going to break an airspeed record and we have a new jet to do it. I said, where would you set up the cameras? And I can't remember exactly what she said, but she said, a camera in the cockpit looking up at the pilot, a camera over the pilot's shoulders so you can see what he's doing, a camera on the ground or a couple cameras on the ground to make sure you capture the moment it breaks the record. And then she had a couple other places she wanted to put the camera. And I'm like, listen, if you said, Aaron, you have the budget of NASA to make a production of, a airspeed record being broken by like an X-1 plane or something like that. I'm like, I'd have a camera on the wingtip. I'd have a camera on the tail looking down the fuselage so you can see it when it does its like barrel rolls or turns or whatever, whatever. I'd have a set of drones to capture it somewhere in the area when it breaks the sound barrier. And I'm like, and this would all cost like easily under $100,000 easily to just set up cameras like that, make sure they had the proper shielding and all of that stuff to make sure they don't blow up, whatever. Okay. So you're going to space and they give you a camera that sends back footage in this quality. To me, that's unacceptable. I would have, if it were me, and this is just me, Mr. Amateur Red Bull video creator, I would have a camera in every inch of that spaceship. Wouldn't you?
I mean, I think it'll be interesting. Like what they're sending back seems like it's probably got some kind of like economic reason, like with how much data they can transfer or whatever. But I mean, they do have iPads, so wouldn't you be filming like silly videos while you're up there?
I mean, I would, but
I wonder if we're going to get to see that when they come back.
That brings another question. They're also allowed to bring their iPhones up there.
Why?
I don't know, but I saw the black astronaut taking a picture with his iPhone in space, which to me is the biggest smoking gun. Because do you think they have to turn on airplane mode? I don't think so. Here's a visualization. It's all fake. Space is fake. Well, here's a shot from inside the cabin. Again, I want to see this in 4K when they get back. Like the storage is cheap. Cameras are cheap. And this is the best we can do? Call me a conspiracy theorist, but I think this focus on space is a little fishy.
I have one question too about like the mission control layout. Like it's the same as it was in the 60s.
Uh-huh.
Is this really like still the best way to do it? Like line everybody up in a conference room with multiple monitors watching a big screen? Like I don't know. It just feels outdated. Like, don't we have a better way of doing this?
How about this? What about a controllable camera? It can be on an arm or something that allows a person to put on a virtual reality headset and see the inside of the spacecraft.
Sure.
Why not? I mean, if we can stream video back at that speed, couldn't we do something with a slight delay? I don't know. But I mean, dude, they're 100,000 miles away from the Earth. So it's like, well, how does this stuff work at all? I don't know. But guys, I'm the conspiracy guy. So, this is all conjecture and everything we've said is alleged. And I can't wait to get these Spaces Real banner at the bottom of our video.
More and more I'm believing it's fake because, I can go into some random woods and have no signal, but these guys are in deep space and they have the best signal in the world. I'm here on Earth and I can't get one.
They have space tech.
It's like Elon says, it's
with
real.
failing toilets.
It's real because it looks so fake. I mean, how easy is this setup? Like, it would not be hard to fake this completely. You just put a little toy in front of the camera and you pull a little disc in the distance and you're like, yep, we're going to the moon. I know I've told you guys about Capricorn 1. Did you guys ever see Capricorn 1?
I watched about 20 minutes of it.
That's all you need to see is the first 20 minutes of that movie. And you see how this kind of thing could totally be faked. So here's my, because people like my conspiracy theories, here's a crazy conspiracy theory. These people aren't in space. They're on a set. They've been given some kind of a drug that makes them highly suggestible. And possibly they are suspended for the zero-G effect. There's a tech we don't know about where they can just make people look like they're in zero-G. Or feel like they're in zero-G.
Well, they have training equipment where they have training equipment with like systems of harnesses where they can simulate it.
Yeah. There was one little bit in one of their live streams that I thought was really funny. And I think it was in here. Yeah, so see this little guy? This little man, there he is. This ball?
Yeah.
That's their mascot. Artemis 2 mascot.
Oh, an 8-year-old designed it.
Yeah. He's called Rise. Isn't he cute?
So it's like the moon wearing an Earth hat?
Yes. There was a nickname for him that was really suspicious, but I can't remember what it was. Let me see if I can find it. Nickname. It's not named Rise. What was it? Oh, I guess it is Rise. But
it's a weird name.
So the funny thing about it was when they were doing these interviews, he was floating around in the foreground and this lady could not stop trying to reposition him. She was just like playing with him the whole time because he just kept flying all over the place. It was really funny. Well, like I said, they picked the right people to do this because the astronauts are very charming. They're very good at, doing these presentations and things, man. I don't know, but we had to conjecture a little bit because, we like the truth over here.
Yeah, it's fun. It
is fun. You want to hear something about that's a little more fun? Just to go back to the glizzy for just a second. I'm sorry, Glizilla.
It's all coming together.
You know how they make American bread?
Vaguely, they just fill it with sugar.
Basically, I've heard Europeans describe American bread as basically being cake because it's so sweet.
Yeah. I mean, if we used to eat Wonder Bread when we were kids and then we went off of it for a long time and then you go back and you taste it and you're like, wow, no wonder a PB&J tastes so good with this stuff.
Well, one of the things about the space age is that we invented space age products, and Wonder Bread was one of them. So check this out.
These are what's considered bread in America, and today we're going to make it from scratch at home. First, we're going to need glyphosate, a synthetic herbicide we're going to spray on the wheat to help it dry faster and make it easier to harvest. Grind it up and add synthetic vitamins because the real ones are gone. And of course, we gotta get the color right, so we're going to suit up and blast it with chlorine gas to make it nice and white. And when you see rich wheat flour on the label, this is basically what it is. Now, to make it into bread, we're going to take this yoga mat, mix it with toluene or petroleum-derived solvent to isolate the azodicarbonamide, a dough conditioner that's gonna help make it nice and fluffy. Now for our other ingredients: high fructose corn syrup, soybean oil, mono and diglyceride, calcium peroxide, calcium propionate, and potassium bromate, even though it's banned in Europe, Canada, even China because it's linked to cancer, but we're only gonna add a little bit, so it should be fine. Add a splash of water, mix, shape, bake, and that's basically your made in the USA bread. Send this to a friend who still thinks bread is just flour and water, and let me know, would you eat this crap?
Would you eat the Wonder Bread?
It's funny, I listened to a mini documentary about Wonder Bread earlier this week.
And what'd you learn?
A lot of these products like started like I also listened to one about Velveeta, which I didn't know, but originally Velveeta was a mix or a blend of several different kinds of cheeses that basically made the perfect like spreadable cheese, and it was like all natural, and then it was bought by Kraft and immediately ruined. Wonder Bread, I mean, there's, I don't know, whenever you watch any of these documentaries, people are always like, it was a racism thing, people didn't like their local bakers because they were Polish or Italian or it's like, okay. They like the whiteness of the bread, and it showed purity.
I've heard that one. Yeah, Wonder Bread is racist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, Wonder Bread's always been garbage. Always. It's always been a product designed to make as much money as possible, regardless of like what they have to put in it, how they make it. Like, it is efficiency in a product. Yeah.
Well, now that I know that buying Wonder Bread is a neo-Nazi hate symbol classified by the ADL, I have to buy Wonder Bread again. It's all I can do. I have to buy Wonder Bread. Daniel, you're going to come to the office one day, and there's going to be just a stack of Wonder Bread sitting on your desk. And you're going to be, oh, God, I hope no one sees this.
Reported for hate crime. This is going to be.
Yeah. Adam, I love how he used your COVID Halloween costume. Did we ever put those pictures on here? I don't even remember.
I put them in the Telegram.
Yeah.
Me getting engulfed in smoke machine fog and like spraying a spray bottle and holding out a tape measure with 6 feet apart. I need to bring back COVID, man, at Halloween. People might actually laugh at it this time.
I don't know. I feel like they will laugh at it, but I think a couple other, some other people will be like uncomfortably reminded of what we all went through collectively. This right here. Look at this racism going on here. He's purifying the flour, and now it's perfectly white. All right. So speaking of space, another story that came out this week was Matt Gaetz said that there's interracial alien mating happening. Matt Gaetz was up to be Attorney General of the United States.
Interracial alien mating? What the F is going on? Look, wait a second. You had whistleblowers tell you this kind of thing?
I had a guy who was uniformed. He was a senior enlisted with the United States Army. Came into my office in Crestview, Florida, in a non-classified setting. I had members of my staff there, and what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and from even the caravans of migrants. Now, again, I didn't verify this, but what the whistleblower was telling me is that there were like between 6 and 12 locations around the country where this happened. And what he wanted was a group members of Congress to all show up at the same time at all of these different locations so that any of those activities could not be moved. And of course, it's a physical impossibility to get members of Congress to simultaneously show up at like 8 locations at one time. And so that never occurred.
Alien breeding programs.
Seems legit.
Didn't Bob Lazar just go on Joe Rogan again?
Yeah, I watched about 45 minutes of it. They tried to get him drunk.
Good work.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get really far enough. I mean, it's like you've heard the Bob Lazar story. You've heard the whole story. Like, why are you having him back? He has no new information. But
they're trying to bring back the alien in space thing. I mean, it's like it's like I said, we're doing a cargo cult thing of like, you remember when America was this way and we believed in aliens and sent men to the moon, and Neil Armstrong said on the capsule that there were all sorts of flying like demons outside of the spacecraft. They got this crap going on where it's like the thermal cameras of things blasting across the water. I mean, I don't buy any of this, man. Like, as conspiracy theorist dude as I am, I think aliens are a psyop, and I have for a while now. Now, some people think they are demons, and I'm like, okay, we'll see.
yeah, I don't know. The alien thing, like every now and then I it's like a phase.
Mm-hmm.
Like every year I have a UFO phase. It lasts about 2 weeks. And then I have like I don't know, like an alchemy phase where all of a sudden I'm obsessed with alchemy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have like a ghost phase around Halloween where all I want to do is listen to ghost stories. Yeah, it's like UFOs. It's like you get into it, you have fun with it for a little bit, and then you're like, oh wait, nobody knows anything, and this is all bullshit.
Daniel, what do you think about aliens?
My thought process is like, I've always believed that there's something out there because it's kind of, it'd be really just odd to be the only beings that exist with how big our galaxy is. But with the way that it's pushed in the media and all the crap about it, it's like, at this point, I just kind of want it to not be real.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I think there is something to the angels and demons aspect of it. Like, I do believe there are, like, otherworldly forces, whether it's extraterrestrials or interdimensional creatures of some kind. Like, if you listen to Bob Lazar's story, when they got him working on the UFO or whatever, he didn't learn until a little bit later that, like, he thought, like, when he got there that it was technology that they made, and then later on somebody told him, oh, this isn't ours, we found it. But that could also be like another part of the psyop, you know, like they compartmentalize the knowledge for the people who are working on this stuff, so they don't know the truth. Like maybe it was captured from, you know, the Russians, or maybe they found it in an Atlantean, you know, temple 1,000 feet below the surface of the ocean. Like, you don't know. They're not going to tell you anything.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the one that sticks? Oh, well, it's aliens from Mars. Okay, well, we'll go with that, because the public seems to be more interested in believing that than like, oh, maybe we just shot down an angel or something and took his car. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. That reminds me of hang on, let me see if I can find the Space is Fake song. There is, since we mentioned it. Space is Fake song. Conspiracy music guru. Here he is. This is it. There's a section in here that I just love. Where is it about TV?
Oh. Yes, before this, it's like midway through.
Oh yeah. It's right about here. Oh yeah. This is it. Hang on, let me get it to
and all these like pictures are just really good for it.
So here it goes.
With those Disney guys, they help us propagate our lives. We make cartoons about space fantasies and put them on TV for all the kids to see. We program you when you're really young. We make space travel so much fun. Then all the kids fall into our trap and all grow up believing our crap. Pushing this satanic line. Space is a drug and everybody high. It's only your imagination that's been a space. Ladies and gentlemen, space is fake.
Freaking love it.
Oh man, it's such a banger.
The balls on this man.
That it's such a good song.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
I love conspiracy culture. It's so much fun.
I love truthers so much, man. It's just like, oh my gosh. It's hard not to love them. Like, they went from being like super scared, you know. I was going through a lot of archive footage. And actually we're going to look at some here in a little bit, but I was going through archive footage this week and I found one from the late 70s about who really controls the planet. And it's all these guys with, 70s haircuts, 70s clothes, and a poorly lit 70s studio, basically explaining the Illuminati theory. And in the 70s, obviously they didn't have access to the internet, so they had to read a lot. And they're saying a lot of the same things that people say now, almost casually. But back then, they're looking around and they're like, oh, God, what if somebody finds out I'm doing this video? Like, make sure to, hide my name or something like that, stuff like that in the 70s. But now we can
they're sitting there looking like, man, check to make sure the room's not bugged.
Yeah. But now you can just make spaces fake, put it on YouTube, and like everyone can watch it. And it's just hilarious to me. I don't know.
I think, I don't know what's interesting about like the Illuminati theory or, any of these secret societies that quote unquote run everything is it gives the illusion that somebody knows what's going on and that somebody's in control. So it's more appealing than just thinking, well, it's all chaos and nobody knows what's actually happening and there's nobody actually in control.
Well, the problem with the conspiracy of everything is planned is that it leaves out, it pretty much leaves out the natural behaviors that arise from motivations and precepts. It's like, oh, they're just evil, so they have a control grid over the planet to turn this place into a matrix and, control your mind and that sort of thing. And they have to have all these occult rituals and things like that, and everything is scheduled. I've seen ones where they say, here's a timeline of how things are going to happen in the future based on what these people believe about astrology and all of that sort of thing. But a good amount of conspiratorial behavior that you could, see from the outside can just be deduced from people's precepts. You don't have to have a map of how the Illuminati works out. You don't need that Q map with, all the different, Club of Rome and Illuminati and, the New World Order. You don't need everything mapped out. If you understand a good chunk about human psychology and what motivates psychopaths, a lot of that stuff just happens as an effect of people believing certain things.
Yeah.
Like Zionism, for example. Zionism is a good one, and it's in vogue. People are talking about Zionism. People posting like Huckabee is probably blackmailed and he's getting paid. And I'm like, you don't understand how a Christian Zionist thinks. As far as I can tell, Huckabee really believes this stuff, and that makes him more dangerous than a person who's being paid or blackmailed. He's ride or die. That's the best kind of guy you can have vouching for your little thing. All right. Shall we do our donations real quick since we're an hour in? I think we got to get through this because we got a lot more to go here. We got one donation, but it's a good one. Let me make sure I got it here. I had a video that I was going to play with this. Where did I put that? Don't worry, everybody. I got it.
Speaking of taste tests.
Well, look at this. It may be hard to imagine, but Little Caesars is celebrating 20 years of the Hot and Ready. Can you believe that?
Always a staple in my house growing up. So Hot and Ready refers to a range of ready-to-serve products.
Little Caesars Hot and Ready Pizza. Walk in, walk out.
Hot and ready, whatever you want Caesars Hot and Ready Lunch Combos now $4 instead of $5.
Pick up a large, freshly made, hot and ready pepperoni pizza for only $5. No need to call ahead. It's hot and ready all day, every day.
The most anti-Semitic donation ever made.
Them Little Caesars.
Oh my God.
It's hot and ready. I'm okay.
Pizza, pizza. You guys remember this one? When Little Caesars came under fire for this?
And a 20-ounce soda for just $4?
Get the hot and ready lunch combo for the unbelievable price of just...
You remember that?
That is pretty weird. I don't remember this.
I actually don't either.
You don't?
No.
It's a great ad, but they're like, oh, you can get some, it's a $5.99 special for $4.99 now. And then everyone starts rubbing their hands.
Dish pepperoni pizza.
And looking menacing.
Yeah.
And a 20-ounce soda for just $4?
They called this anti-Semitic. Jonathan Greenblatt was out here like, I will never eat at Little Caesars again.
As if he ever did.
No, of course not.
Little Caesars is like for college students, like at midnight.
Yeah.
And they're great. They're great for that.
They, you know what?
It is pretty tone deaf, though, that ad, I'm just going to say.
Now, why would you say that? What's wrong with rubbing your hands when you make a lot of money?
I don't know. If you're in marketing or in PR of any kind, you should be aware that, well, you know what? Maybe not. When did this come out?
Oh, this was 2010s? Somewhere in there?
I don't know.
I
don't know. It's like the amount of, you'd think a big company like this would think about stuff like that, but maybe not. Sometimes people just make mistakes.
Maybe they're signaling to
they're so creepy.
They're signaling to their alt-right audience, like, look, we know the jokes. But I don't know. But we did make Hot and Ready this week, thanks to one man from Texas. Actually, Tom and I worked together on the opening bumper or the opening video, and he made the music from that, which I got to say, it's a banger. And, everyone thinks they can make good music on Suno just by putting in a prompt. And they're like, that sounds pretty good. You need a Suno guy. You need an AI music guy who can, you can say, I need it to do a key change, and I need it to be about this long, and I need it to be here and here and here. Tom is that guy for me and for our show. And he sent us $100 this week, and he said, I what the hell sured my way into this mess, and I will what the hell sure my way out of it. Hot and ready, boys.
Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. I don't actually know what it means. Hang on. I what the hell sured my way into this mess, and I will what the hell sure my way out of it. Okay, sure. What the hell, sure. Yeah, Tom is a great supporter of the show, and I do like working with him. It's rare that you find people to work with in this region of the internet that are reliable. And Newsfist and I talk about it all the time. It's hard to find people who will help. But Tom is a ride or die true blue patriot. That's all I'm saying. If you would like to join the donation train, you can loot up partner. I'm going to play a little video here with some QR codes. We are not yet at enough subscribers on YouTube to accept donations through YouTube. So the best way to do it is through our website. All links are in the description. I just set up a Venmo CTC Memecast if that's what you want to do. But right here, actually, I take that back. I got to replace that QR code because we had the problem with Bombay. Remember?
Oh yeah.
So that QR code's no good. But I'm going to play it anyway. Skip this one. It doesn't work. Just skip it. Ignore the raccoon. He's a liar. I should have gotten this set up. Check the links in the description for it. But the Patreon link is good. And we've got all the interviews that I'm going to be doing coming out early on there, including one that I don't know if I'm going to release on the main feed. And there's a couple already there that I won't release on the main feed. This is our website for stickers, apparel, and more. You can get yourself an official CTC mug if you want something instead of just sending us money for free. And if you're broke, remember to like, rate, subscribe, share it, comment on it, everything to get us on the algo, because if you can get attention, you can get everything else. And guys, I'm telling you, we're going to go to Vegas someday. I want to go to Vegas. And I want to
every time you pull up this bumper, I just hear a casino like jackpot winning sound every time.
Yeah, well, that's
you really just need to keep that audio playing every day when it goes on when you put this up. It just adds to the atmosphere.
That's gonna be us.
I came across a video that somebody took of the Vegas Dome, and somebody had paid money to have like a video of dancing cats on the dome. And I think it costs like $1 million to do that.
Jeez.
Oh, I believe it.
To have this video of like cats dancing across the entire skyline. So if we get enough donations, what are we going to put on the dome?
Oh, please tell me it's just Loot Up Partner.
Loot Up Partner with Michael Rappaport's face laughing. Just get it, you know those storm megaphones we've been hearing a lot lately because of the tornado alley moved east this year or whatever. Just get Michael Rappaport laughing. Let's see, do I have him? I've got him. You gotta have that. Just all across Vegas.
Godzilla versus Michael Rappaport.
Glizilla versus Michael Rappaport. Yeah. All right, and some people don't like just sending money for free, even though it helps us and we get to keep the most of it. The other thing that I like to shill a lot, and I don't do this very often because there's not that many products I actually like, but I do have a partnership set up with Sport Drink because I have it on good authority that they have been officially labeled racist Gatorade. Because their marketing on Twitter is absolutely fantastic. Sport Drink it's a sport drink. That's what it is. It's a sports drink. It's a replacement for Gatorade. I will tell you, I feel better drinking it. And that sounds ridiculous, but I have tried a ton of things and there's only one sport drink for me. And maybe it's for you. But Racist Gatorade put up a little ad this week about how to get hydrated without actually drinking anything. And it looks like this.
You've got to stop doing this. You're not supposed to make electrolytes into candy because then I eat them all. It's like, maybe one more. I did sweat a little.
So you could buy Sport Drink for a 10% discount with discount code CTC or by following the referral link in the description, or you can be this guy eating electrolyte gummies.
Today. They're so good.
Oh, God.
Lemon, lime, candy, and then, not candy, gummies is what we are calling these. And look at, they're just coated in this like tart sugar. They pop with flavor.
This is you right now not buying Sport Drink. Now listen, like I said, I don't really vouch for things unless I try them myself and I get some benefit out of it. The reality is a lot of people are short on things like magnesium, and most people are like perpetually dehydrated. I found, and the reality also is that a lot of people take magnesium capsules, but allegedly, and I'm not a medical specialist or whatever, you don't absorb capsules as well as you do magnesium in liquid form. So you can buy Sport Drink and enjoy it, or you can actually buy liquid magnesium, mix it with juice, and it still tastes like hell. But, don't be this guy. Don't be dehydrated eating your gummies.
Whatever. You can pretend that they're, like, really good for you. Babe, I'm not eating candy. I'm eating electrolytes.
I wonder what the hell is in those.
Probably just salt and sugar. Maybe some potassium. Ugh. And then a bunch of, probably not corn syrup, but gel or whatever.
Stevia.
Couple of things about Sport Drink. At least the lemon lime one tastes amazing. But another pro tip, don't put it, if you have one of those like Hydro Flask or Yeti water bottles, don't put it in the bottle and shake it up because it will explode.
Yeah.
That happened to me.
Sounds like
at work.
experience. Yep.
Yeah, I dumped a bunch into my water bottle, shook it up, got to the office, opened it up, and it exploded like a bottle of champagne.
Well, so one of the reasons it is lightly carbonated, like when you mix it up, it fizzes. It's amazing. But one of the reasons I realized I enjoyed it so much, and that I would think the main thing that I was enjoying out of it was the magnesium. Your body burns through a lot of magnesium and things like that when it's going through stress. I drank Sport Drink for like 2 days and I felt significantly calmer, which is why I went ahead and just bought liquid magnesium in a big bottle, because I was like, well, if it's magnesium, and I was right. The magnesium in it helps your body process stress. And you can get the capsules, you can get it from Amazon, and I'm telling you, it does nothing. I've supplemented with magnesium for years. I had issues with sleep, and I would take a magnesium powder before I went to bed. Didn't make a difference. Just didn't make a difference at all. Because the truth is, most of the stuff that you get, like vitamin C over the counter, isn't actually the vitamin it claims. It's a synthetic compound. Crow does a lot of research on this stuff. And I remember hearing about magnesium years ago and being like, well, I've been taking magnesium for years and it doesn't do anything. The source matters. But anyway.
Yeah. Don't buy supplements on Amazon, ever.
For the love of God. Yeah, don't do that.
One other pro tip, there's a great app called Supco, and they just rate supplements and quality. So it's really useful if like you're thinking about buying a supplement. Check the app because they'll tell you all the stuff that the seller is not going to tell you.
Yeah, and that would be funny if somebody scanned that on the app and it was like, this is terrible for you. All I can say is, in this world, the only things I've found that work are the things I've tested myself and done so. Like, I didn't want to buy this. Are you kidding me? Like, it's funny. Racist Gatorade is funny, but I don't vouch for things that don't work for me. So that's it. That's all I have on that. All right. Shall we move on? I have some interesting stuff, and because we're into the second hour and I have a lot left, do you guys want to watch an awesome clip that Tom sent in from Ben Stein?
Sure.
It's about media control, and it's a bit long, but I figure there's this one, and then there's a really funny random one that I have for the end. But I listened to this entire thing, and it was just like, it was shocking. Ben Stein, you remember Ben Stein? He was in
Bueller.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He's the boring professor guy or teacher guy. Mm-hmm. All right. This clip was from the 70s, I believe.
The book points out, and I point out to you, Ms. Voldheim, that TV is highly stereotypical, homogeneous, and ideological. And that and what the results of that will be, I'm not quite sure. I do think that it is worth noting that the most powerful medium in the history of the world is controlled by a very small, idiosyncratic, homogeneous group of people. I mean, I think if the...
You mean the people who write?
The people who write and produce for TV. What I notice on television is that there are certain characteristics that certain stereotypical people have on television. For instance, all businessmen, if it's an adventure show, are evil, murderous, hypocritical, cheating scoundrels. If it's a situation... on television.
She wants to know if you know a businessman who is not a murderer.
Thank you very much.
That, it seems to me, is not a true delineation of them. And similarly, on television, all small towns are evil, vicious places where the big city innocent goes, his car breaks down, and he gets caught in a web of murder and kidnapping and extortion. And all military men are, if it's an adventure show, are planning for a neo-Nazi takeover, and if it's a sitcom, they're buffoons. On crime shows, the criminal is almost always a middle-class, well-to-do person of the majority group. There are almost no poor people portrayed as committing crimes. The criminal is, even if a poor person has committed a crime, he has been forced into doing it by a businessman or some other middle-class seeming person. There are no useful or vital religious figures on television. They're all either buffoons or kind of helpless fuddy-duddies. There is this kind of overwhelming stereotyping of certain power centers and power groups in the society as either bad or foolish.
You don't watch the same shows I do.
Let me just say that even the people who make television, even the Gary Marshalls and Norman Lears of Hollywood, do not really dispute that this stereotyping goes on.
Well, then they are shameful.
The point is just that there is an enormous amount of kind of background noise on these TV shows, which is a fully alternate reality, or maybe I should say alternative reality, of American life. People watch TV so much that it's like a second life for them.
Yeah. It reminds me of what I was listening again to the Mac Moore interview that you did. And what he said about watching TV was that if you don't outright reject what you're being shown, your brain automatically accepts it as real. Which is very shocking to hear. But on a subconscious level, that is actually what's happening, unless you stand up and say that's not true, or I disagree with that, or I don't accept that. Your brain is going to default to that's reality.
Images, I mean, think about this. Let's take an evolutionary view of human development, right? Up until the TV, anything you saw with your own two eyes was real. Except for like illusion, but even then it was still real in some sense. When the TV screen and film came on the stage, your brain was not prepared to deal with images being pumped into your head that weren't real. And like he said, it's like a second life or alternate reality. Yes. We call it movie brain, TV brain, boomer brain, whatever. You can put any slur you want on it.
I think that's a really good point, though, because like as long as humans have been around, you have been able to trust your eyeballs. Like, have you ever seen the first photograph of a tornado?
No. Let me look that
It's
up.
fake. Somebody faked it. Yeah, but they thought it was real forever.
The first photo of a tornado. This one?
Yep.
Fake.
Yeah, it's a fake.
Oh my gosh.
But, you know, it's like if you saw that back when it was taken, you'd be like, holy crap, that's a photograph of a tornado. It's real. But I don't know. Like back then, I don't want to say people were stupid, but I think that's a really good point, is that we didn't have to have the conspiracy goggles on back then, because it was like, well, do you have a picture of it? You know, it's like back then, it was even before photography. It's like, well, you had all these paintings of important people, and that would be your perception of that person, was what you'd see maybe in the painting if you were in such and such location that had access to an expensive painting of an authority figure. It's like the icon, I can't remember who it was, if it was Caesar, who had a statue like mass produced of him, and they put it all throughout the empire. And that altered the perception of the population.
Right.
It's why like the gestures they picked for his hands, or like the way his face looked or his expression was so important, was because it was mass perception changes. And now we have that on such a ridiculous level that, you know, it's no wonder we're watching Artemis 2 fly through space and we're like, yeah, how many different ways is this a lie?
Right. And that's the craziest part, is like a large part of conspiracy theory, and like what gets categorized as a conspiracy theorist is someone who doesn't believe the television. And it takes strength to argue against what most people, I saw it on TV, it was on the news, why would they lie? It's like, if AI video isn't a good enough reason for people to accept that perhaps the medium, which literally means the in-between, right? Media means middle. It comes between you and reality. And if you can control the medium or the media through which everybody sees everything, that's mind control. It's not that you can't learn anything from the screen, but you have to understand that it's very different conceptually from something you experience in real life, right? So I went on a hike because it's spring, and I ended up out in the woods, and I usually wear headphones when I go outside because I just don't like that much noise. But I went out in the woods and I listened to the trees and the birds, and the distant traffic and all of that stuff. And it was just so interesting to me to think, like, this is not the same as putting on the sounds of birds singing or a forest. And the world itself, when it's unmediated, can be a little bit overwhelming. You know, we see violence on TV all the time. How many of us have actually seen real violence in real life to the level that we've seen on TV? I sound like a freaking 90s mom worried about what our children are seeing on television. But there is some reality to it. For sure.
No, I think one more thing I'd like to tack onto that is through media and the proliferation of like the technology of creating media, we're essentially training people that they live in a world that they can control.
Mm-hmm.
So when the natural world does its thing and does the exact opposite of what you want it to do, or does something completely unpredictable, it throws us for a loop. If you spend all your time on your phone and TikTok or in Zoom calls or watching YouTube videos or, in a climate controlled environment, it's like you forget how to handle the reality of the world, which is, out of your control.
Yes.
So that's the addictive nature of it too, is like, and it's why, people constantly go to their phones or they are fidgeting about things all the time, is because it restores that sense of control over things. So it's like, if I get stressed out, I pull out my phone and I go to the Telegram and I scroll for a minute, or I go check the weather, because that kind of restores that sense of control over the world.
That's a really good point. I mean, I can think of a couple of times, like when the power's gone out, or last summer, I lost my air conditioning in the middle of July or August. I don't remember. It was the hottest time of the year. And of course, my air conditioning goes out. And I couldn't believe how powerless that made me feel. It's like, I am so hot and I'm trying to sleep tonight. So the best thing I can do is put a box fan in the window and just tough it out. And the thing about living in a world of total control, this alternate second life of the screen, is that you think you can't do that. You begin to think that I have a right to the air conditioning, or I have a right to the power, and I can't live without it. The reality is, it's you sort of revert to base programming very quickly, and you're like, it's just a hot night. It's just hot tonight. My air was out for a week. And I got to the point at the end of it where I was like, when they turned the air back on, of course I was happy. But I sort of missed that, of course I'm in Wisconsin, so it's not like it was Texas. I understand that there's variations in this, but I sort of missed that I woke up feeling even more refreshed because I'd been breathing fresh air all night in my sleep. That I heard the sounds of, the outdoors while I was sleeping instead of, the rain noises I put on my phone to sleep, that kind of thing.
Well, in a sense, the sense of control that technology gives us becomes like the air you breathe. Like I can remember the last time we had a power outage. It was the middle of the summer. I lived in the upper floor of a duplex, and it was so hot up there. And it was like a Saturday morning or something. And I was like, this is my weekend. Like, I don't have energy. I don't know what to do. So the extension of that technology was, the Nintendo Switch is charged in the basement is cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I went down and sat in the basement and played the Switch games that I had installed. And then all of a sudden I realized, the Wi-Fi's gone, so I can't install this other game that I'd rather play. But it's just interesting, like the tech is sort of allowing this extension. It's almost like a diving suit of control.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have this isolated ability now. Like last time my power went out at my current house, which is no longer a duplex, it was during a storm, and the window wells were all flooding, and my sump pump wasn't working because I don't have battery backup. But I happen to have this cordless hand pump with enough charged batteries that I could go outside and pump the water out of the well. But, that's the thing, is we're inventing technology that's allowing us to extend our sense of control beyond the grid, because if we can take it with us, that keeps us psychologically tied in with the system.
Right. Now, There was a comment on the last Newsfist conspiracy pyramid video that made me laugh. Somebody goes, I have never heard anyone but Clowntown Chronicle mention the Space Trilogy by C.S. Lewis.
That Hideous Strength by C.S. Lewis.
I'm going to do it again.
Here we go.
Yeah. So there's a scene where there's this castrato or castrated opera singer or whatever. I don't know what he is. He's an Italian. But he's talking about how great the moon is because the people on the moon have no nature and nature is dirty. And he says that the people there are so refined that when they get married, they don't actually live with the person they married. They live with an exact copy that doesn't create any mess, doesn't have any problems, doesn't smell bad on certain days, doesn't get angry, and they just live with the exact copy, and that's a marriage. You think about that. That is the logical conclusion to being so totally detached from the natural world. We are not far off from that, and that might sound ridiculous, but...
Well, I mean, let's think about it in historical terms, too. I mean, like, what is religion, ritual, all of that, but a proto version of what we have now? You know, you enter, say you're in a caveman tribe, and there's the old witch doctor or shaman or whatever who gives you a hallucinogen that makes you believe that you're somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seems like a lot of this stuff, the human condition, is largely to escape this place.
Does
that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like the best you could do back then was, eat a magic plant that takes you somewhere else. Now it's like, well, you can transport your consciousness elsewhere through the mirror in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wear headphones a lot, transferring my consciousness to podcasts or audiobooks. I'm avoiding this place in a sense.
Yeah.
And now it's like you have so many ways that you can do it.
Just ignore this, Adam.
I'm not looking at the screen. I don't like that sensation that I don't feel like that should be the default for the human consciousness, is to want to leave.
No.
To me, that seems unnatural, and it seems like a defiance of the great spirit or God or whatever. And I'm not saying that like I'm really good at standing out in the grass and communing with the animals and crap like that, but I'm wondering about this hypothetical of like, when we live in a world where consciousness gives us this illusion of control, we forget the core tenet of living in this place, which is acceptance.
Yes.
We completely lose sight of how to do that.
That's exactly right. Yes. When you have so much control, you become addicted to the control. Mm-hmm. You demand control, more control. I want more control over all this. When you're out in nature, when you're camping and you forgot to bring enough beer, you just have to deal with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you forgot to bring a towel to go to the shower, you're going to have to air dry. These are realities, right? Daniel, did you have any thoughts on this?
No, you're good.
Okay.
I don't think I really have too much of a thought on it.
It's a little out there. I get it. But I do think so. Like, one thing that I saw not a long time ago, a while back. Let me see if I can find this original video. Did you know, like, if cows eat wrong, they turn into balloons and die?
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard about it.
There's this video I found a while back. Let me make sure this doesn't have music. So here's a video of it. This cow ate wrong, and so he's lying down and like just waiting to die. So what do? You stick him with a needle and you let him deflate. It's dirty, filthy work, but this is just how it freaking works out there, right? One of the bits that Arthur and I were talking about that I thought was so strong, we were just talking about the difference between dirt people and cloud people. And cloud people live in that world of that alternate reality where everything is in control. And dirt people live in a world where there are just facts. If you don't stick a needle in that cow, he's going to die. So you do it. Now, I want to go back to Ben Stein a little bit because I think he gets into some even stronger points, and then we'll have to move on. But that's what we're living in a mediated world, a world where media and the screen is a second life that most people live in. An overexposure to it can cause you to detach from reality. And I think this is where like imposter syndrome comes from. And, you know, people who are anxious often depersonalize, where they feel like they're not actually living their life.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of that comes from overexposure to the screen. And I think it also produces what we see in the enraged, like, No Kings lefty protesters, where they're living in a meme or a word world. And when reality comes in and impresses itself upon that, they feel pain. And I think this is why.
And in this second life, conditions are very different from what they are in real life. That is, in real life, one occasionally finds a businessman who is not plotting to murder his go-go dancer girlfriend. On TV, if a standard episode of Starsky and Hutch...
They just don't pass the screen test.
Right. On TV, a standard episode of Barnaby Jones or Starsky and Hutch will be that a go-go dancer has been murdered. And there are 3 suspects. And one is her boyfriend, who has just gotten out of jail after serving 20 years for murder. And the other one will be the janitor who cleans up the club, and he is a heroin addict. And the other one will be the head of the local utility company who stops in there for a drink on his way to the train. Now, invariably, the killer will be the head of the local utility company. And this is a reality, which it seems to on TV, which it seems to me tends to screw up most people's perceptions of real life.
I watch MASH. I watch Barney Miller.
Well, MASH is a perfect example of what the book is about, because one of the parts of the book is that on television, military men are in 2 different categories. If they are enlisted men or draftees, they are saintly, virtuous people. If they are professional military officers, they are killers. Their whole aim in life is to kill and torment.
That's not so of MASH.
Oh, it is absolutely true of MASH. In MASH, the people who are...
See? He's like, not MASH. MASH is a good show.
In charge is a very nice guy.
But he is
he writes his wife every week.
But he is a draftee. All the people in the mobile surgical hospital are draftees. The people who come over from headquarters are only concerned with bombing civilians. MASH is the absolutely perfect example of how on television a professional army man is 1 inch away from being an SS man.
Nailed it. So we wonder why No Kings people see Nazis under every bed. This is why. They live in a second life alternate Reddit reality made up of words and visuals and things they believe that they saw on the magic box.
Yeah, it's engineered. Yes. And it may or may not be for some ultimate nefarious purpose. You know, it's like going back to Wonder Bread or Velveeta. It's like those things were engineered, like, for example, like Velveeta, it was bought by Kraft and then it was engineered to be shelf stable and maximize profit. I doubt the people that re-engineered Velveeta were like, yeah, we want to make this poison.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's like, wait, we can make the big line go up so much faster if we take out all the real cheese in this thing and turn it into something that tastes exactly the same and is, you know, 1,000 times cheaper to produce.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, with TV, of course, they're going to engineer storytelling to do things that are quote unquote unexpected because it gets you sucked in more. So it's like, well, of course, you know, if it turns out in that example he was talking about where it's like, yeah, the guy who got out of prison, you know, 20 years for murder. Well, yeah, he's the killer. It's like, well, that's boring.
Yeah.
That's predictable. So it's like the way they engineer these stories is to be unpredictable because that's what generates intrigue and it gets you to click.
Yes. Yes.
Because that's what ultimately they're trying to get is they need the attention.
Yes.
They don't need to tell a realistic story.
Right.
Because reality's boring, apparently.
Reality is boring. You know, like one of the things that Michael Hoffman III said that I'll just never forget, and he's like Mr. Conspiracy, was he always expressed some disappointment that people read his books because they were thrill seekers. They wanted to know the conspiracy because it was like an interesting episode of Fringe or the Twilight Zone or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there's almost no avoiding that when you get into the conspiracy zone. It's just interesting. It's like, oh, this is an alternate take on reality. But, realistically speaking, what you have to understand is that in a world before television and a world before screens, you wouldn't know any of this. You wouldn't know any of this. This wouldn't even enter your consciousness. What we're dealing with, television might be our great filter.
Mm-hmm.
That's a wild claim.
Well, I think your description of dirt people versus cloud people is really interesting, because it seems like with all the tech that we all have now, it's like a lot of us are being sort of forced into a station that we weren't designed for.
Yeah.
Like fundamentally, most of us are dirt people.
Yes.
You think about it over the course of human history. It's like you'd have a few cloud people that kind of ran everything, and they'd know basic stuff about psychological warfare and geopolitics and stuff. But most of the people around them, the people that were dependent or somewhat dependent on them, were too busy dealing with the constant nature of living in the dirt to worry about what the cloud people were thinking about. The cloud people, they would have a position of privilege where they don't have to worry as much about basic human needs.
Yes.
That they could spend time fretting over conspiracy and whatnot. But now a lot of us are kind of at that point.
Well, first
where it's
of all,
like we have access to both. Sorry. Go on.
it's all right. First of all, I can't take credit for dirt people and cloud people. I got that third hand from Arthur from a person named Z-Man, who I've never heard of before. That was his concept. The other thing is, this is what I talk about all the time when we talk about why elites become involved in the occult, because that's about as detached from dirt as you can possibly be.
Yeah. Well, it's exactly like wealth changes people.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
Well, so we see multiple times throughout history when the elite, so like in France before the revolution and in Russia before the revolution there, what happened was that the dirt people were mobilized against the cloud people, because the cloud people, like the Tsar and the ancient regime and all of that stuff, these people were getting involved in the occult. They were so out there and far away from what dirt people were thinking about all the time, which is why I think that the goal to reduce the global population is to reduce the number of dirt people. I mean, maybe that's an oversimplification, but anyway, I thought that clip was really great. Another one that I thought was interesting was I never thought I'd see freaking Tucker Carlson interview Chad Ripperger, who is a Catholic priest who focuses on exorcisms. But I used to listen to Ripperger now and then because his sermons or talks or whatever, you can find them, and they have like 1,000 views on YouTube or whatever. They're really nice, and they have a great way of like explaining things through a spiritual lens. But I saved this little clip here because I thought it was really funny. He spent the entire interview talking about demons and how to combat them and that sort of thing. But here's the little bit I saved.
It's very obvious to me that demonic forces go after Christian leadership.
Yes.
It's one of the reasons so many of them are rotten. I feel sorry for them. And also leadership in general. Like the U.S. Congress has a much higher incidence of diseased personal lives.
That's right.
Than the American population. That's not an accident because they have authority. That's just what I've noticed. Do you think that's true?
Oh, I think that's absolutely true. I mean, as far as the Christian leaders, a lot of times what happens is they'll start out with good intentions.
Totally.
But then when they get to that position of power, it attracts the demons, because for demons, they because they're cut off from God, they no longer have grace. They don't even know the economy of grace, and by that I mean in the sense they don't even know what helps that God is going to give to different people to get their lives together. And that they have no access to any of that knowledge. They don't have any of that. They don't have. They hate each other. They can't stand each other. So they don't even have the common.
They hate each other.
Yeah, they completely hate each other, and so they do. Yeah, and so as a result of that, they can't. They have the only reason they get along is because they have a common end, which is to take us down. Right?
Man, you're describing people I know.
Well, I'm getting there.
I'm
Tucker.
sorry,
that's
you
a whole. I'm getting there. So the only thing that's left with the demons is because they were created in a hierarchy. So how intelligent they are, they have a will that's proportionately intelligent, is strong to that intelligence. And different demons have different degrees of intelligence. And so basically, what that means is that their will, one demon's will, is stronger than another. So in hell, there's only one thing that's left, and that's raw power. And so what happens but that power is melded with malice and self-servitude and that type of thing. And so what happens is that when you see people that go into positions of power, that attracts the demons because they know if I can get control of this guy, then I can then I can basically use his power that he has to cause all this other damage or to take other people down. That means there's two. So as I mentioned, a lot of the Christian leaders, they go with the right intentions. But when you're talking about politics or in the civil affairs where power is involved, sometimes people go in it with the right intentions, but then they get corrupted afterwards because the demons start. When you get that high profile, the demons are going to be really spending a lot of time and energy trying to take you down. But the other side of it is that, and we've seen this even in the Catholic Church, they'll get the wrong types of people into positions of authority. They know this particular person has this defect. They'll give the person the inspiration. You should go into politics. You should rule. You should be the governor. And so then they'll incline the person to go into that governorship, knowing that because of this person's psychological compatibility with them, with the demons, that they can manipulate this person to cause all sorts of damage.
Man, have I seen that a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you must watch the news with your jaw open because you know what's happening.
I watch the news from a distance because it's almost like being in session. Like,
huh? What does he mean? Sorry.
What
does he mean by being in session?
He's an exorcist.
That's what they call it?
In session, yes. He says he watches the news from a distance because it makes him feel like he's in an exorcism session. And so here, I'll let him talk for a little bit more, but I marked this because I was like, that's exactly right. Because when you have the position in the media and you can do all kinds of evil things, like, well, if you have a bunch of really nasty, awful people who hate you in the media, what do? They run ads for Canadian healthcare. It's pharmaceuticals all day long. They make 13 Reasons Why and put it on Netflix and make it trend.
Oh yeah, I just saw that this afternoon.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, that's actually one of the reasons. That's actually one of. There's two things that I think you find interesting. I actually did a series on how communism and diabolic psychology are identical. Yeah. When you strip the veneer away of it, one being political and the other one being from the spirit world, we peel that veneer away. The patterns of thinking are exactly the same. But
is that true?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Can you? That's worth lingering on for a moment. Can you describe what you see as similar between the way demons behave and the way that the Bolsheviks behaved?
Yeah, I mean, well, we see it even happening in our own country in the sense that the demons always present a temptation as this pie in the sky, great thing that you're going to get, and you're going to get all this pleasure and joy, and everything's going to turn out right.
The dog shows up, by the way. You can tell he's a good guy because the dog likes him.
This dog's got an itch. There you
go. But yeah, so I just thought that was such an interesting little bit there where he's like, oh yeah, it's basically the same structure of thought.
Yeah, well, I mean, whether or not you believe what he's saying is literally true, he's still right.
Right. Yeah. Right. Daniel, did you have thoughts on this?
No, I agree. I have 100% with what Adam just said. Yeah. I was like, you could say exactly that. Yeah. Even if you do or don't, it's on the money.
I know I mentioned it before, and I might have mentioned it just on the Wagey stream, but there's a deep dive boiling right now. It's not quite ready, but the difference between definition and essence, where it's like, yes, definitionally this is political Bolshevism, and definitionally this is a separate thing. It's a spiritual matter. It's demonic activity or whatever, just like he said right there. Essentially, from an essence point of view, he says the structure and architecture of those mindsets are exactly the same. It's like we discussed with the house picture, right? A house has 4 walls and a roof and a floor. But you can paint it all different colors, and it can be made out of sticks or dirt or stone or drywall in millennial gray. But essentially it takes on the same essence. It is a shelter, it is a house, right? Mm-hmm. So what he's saying is the architecture and the mode of thought that is being broadcast on media and being used in politics is essentially the same, even though it's definitionally different. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So anyway, I thought that was super interesting. We're going to have to skip ahead, though. And I don't know how much of this we'll watch because we only have 10 minutes left, but I wanted to put something in front of you. So because we engaged in some schizo territory stuff on this, I thought it would be good to basically learn how the federal agents are watching you. So this is another archive video I found about rural surveillance made in 1993.
That looks like Tucker Carlson.
Wait, he actually does.
Yeah. But I found this video, and there were some bits that I thought were really funny, and I thought we would end on something that's a little bit off the wall because, it's amusing. And I think we hit the high water mark of schizo theories. So let's learn how they're watching us right now.
Control 810. We've got our clout going down on Little River Road. The white male, blue jeans, light blue shirt. He's getting into a citation. Driven by a white female. Looks like he got a purse, maybe a camera. Got into a blue Chevrolet. Headed west on Little River Road.
The government is watching you steal handbags out of parked cars. All the time.
There's so many agents, they can just put them everywhere.
Right. There's no reason to be paranoid. They just have training videos about guys in ghillie suits watching you steal handbags out of parked cars, at Wyalusing State Park.
All right. We all know that an organized, well-planned surveillance can be vital to the success of any law enforcement effort. Over the years, the information gained through surveillance has resulted in the apprehension, arrest, and conviction of thousands of criminals all over the country. And although each surveillance has a unique strategy and may employ different techniques and procedures, they all revolve around one fundamental principle: to remain unseen, to blend into the environment, to gather information without your subject knowing you're there. Now, in an urban area with its busy thoroughfares, tall buildings, secluded alleyways, and crowded sidewalks, it can be relatively easy to become part of the background. But what if you're out here in the open or in the forest? What do you do to blend into the background out here? And what techniques do you employ to gather the information you need? Those are the fundamentals of rural surveillance.
So you thought you'd be free by getting out of the city, but they're following you in the woods.
I'm gonna be checking all my trees now for guys in camouflage with binoculars.
They're watching us right now.
You look out the window and see a guy in a bear suit.
Hey, what were they doing in that video you sent in on the last one? They were chasing away bears, or they weren't chasing away bears. What were they chasing?
They were scaring away some kind of animal. I forgot what it was. I got to look at the picture again. But yeah, the farmers were dressing up and scaring away certain, I think it was birds or whatever.
Yeah, so
oh god,
the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. Let's find out how they're following us right now. Oh, there you go, right there.
Reliable of these strategies is a stationary surveillance, where you sit and wait in seclusion for the action to come to you. This type of surveillance can be termed a reactionary approach to law enforcement, in that you choose a time and place for your surveillance operation based on the intelligence you've gathered regarding the case. If your intelligence is accurate, chances are your surveillance will be a success. During your reconnaissance, after you've located the spot from which your subjects are operating and you can determine that your surveillance will be stationary, your next step is to locate an area to set up your observation post. The primary consideration is to have a safe vantage point to witness the activity in sufficient enough detail.
So what you need is a nice big, like, Nikon P1000 so you can zoom in and see him posting on 4chan.
You look out the window and you say, honey, get the camera. I think I see Bigfoot with the camera looking at us.
Choose an area so remote that you can't see anything, but be mindful to keep a safe enough distance to avoid detection. With these factors in mind, determine the areas that will allow a thorough surveillance during your reconnaissance, and then choose the most fitting of those areas for your observation post.
I think Steve Wallace watched this and then decided, I think I need to make a stealth camping channel.
I mean, this is literally like what he does.
Yeah.
Except minus the ghillie suit.
That's true.
Look for things such as adequate ground cover and vegetation. Areas that are slightly lower than the normal elevation may also help you hide yourself. Make sure that you locate well below the horizon. You also want to ensure that there's a safe way into and out of the observation post. Determine when the best times are to enter and exit. If the surveillance is to be conducted over a period long enough to make shift work necessary, you want to make sure your comings and goings can be made in relative seclusion.
You know what's sad? Back in the 90s, they got to do all this cool stuff with the ghillie suits. And now it's like, well, let's just like see the 3D scan of the person's house that their phone took without them even realizing it.
Yeah, let's just hack into their Wi-Fi and get the whole scan of the building.
Hacks into the Wi-Fi, uses the internal security system. Block the cameras in the house.
Block their EVE Online account so they have to go outside.
Yeah, then just watch from a drone.
Yeah, sitting in the drone that flies over, delivering an Amazon package, catches it.
Yeah, when did I say this was? 1993. When was
Waco?
Waco?
It was a little outdated. Just a little bit.
When did Waco happen? I forget.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
Actually.
Hang on. Let me look it up.
That was the late 80s?
No. 93.
1993.
So this came the same year. They watched this before laying siege to David Koresh and his cult members.
It's important to be realistic when determining whether there's a safe way in and out of the area. You don't want to be burned because of your own movements back and forth. Now, it may be possible to switch shifts between the hours of darkness, but you should plan for an extended stay by a single team of surveillance.
And they pan the camera on this guy. I'm just expecting a dude in a ghillie suit to be right behind him with a pair of binoculars.
I know.
Recording equipment.
There's your recording equipment. Now you just, wear some Ray-Bans with a camera in it,
Sure, you carry this type of equipment. The final step in the planning stage of a rural surveillance is to conduct a briefing for all of those who will be involved in the mission. Everything about the surveillance should be covered thoroughly so that all the participants fully understand their responsibilities.
Good morning, everyone. Let me direct your attention to the front of the room and the chart showing our primary operations area.
The briefing should cover the nature of the surveillance, what the objective is, and all individual assignments. It should also include all known information of the subjects and their known accomplices, as well as a detailed description of the area in which the surveillance is to take place. The placement of the observation post, ingress and egress routes, and all time schedules should also be discussed.
As the fighting creep.
Unbelievable. It used to be so simple. You just camp outside of a guy's house. Make sure you wear your ghillie suit. I want to see if I want to see if they have a dramatization of like a takedown at the end, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Observation post. Having to have a replacement brought in may be unnecessarily risky.
Man, look at that giant equipment. I freaking love it. All right, come on. We gotta have the payoff at the end. Yes.
Yeah.
Good job. Believe me.
Hey.
Wait, what? That's the payoff? Good job.
Dang it. They're like, well, we have a thorough record of him posting racist Gatorade memes online. Wait, actually, this looks like the arrest.
Will be a success.
Yes.
700-415. 700 copy. We have 2 individuals in custody. We also have stolen articles out of the vehicle. We'll be en route to the jail.
700 copy.
Was this necessary for a guy stealing handbags? They like sit outside of his house. They're like, oh, we got all the evidence we need. He's got a Slim Jim and a stolen handbag. Yeah, the government is watching you for this.
Maybe in the 90s when people like were, I don't know, maybe law enforcement was like way more powerful back then. I don't know.
It's so funny. Yeah, there's no reason to schizo out, you know? And there's nothing to hide, you know? We live in the year 2026. You have nothing to be ashamed of.
Because they know everything.
They already know everything, so you should just live openly, like these people.
So,
oh my God.
All the people in this video, all these animal people, they're happier than you. They're all happy and free, hanging out with the other animals. Are they mentally ill? Yes. Do they smell awful? Unimaginably, yes. But they are happier than you, no question. They're doing life right, and you, the person watching this video, you are doing it wrong. Your indecisiveness, your self-mythologizing, be honest. Wouldn't you rather be a flirty wolf having tropical adventures? I mean, just look at these bold, beautiful, foul-smelling animal people. They should be a source of inspiration to all of us. And I know a lot of us right now are feeling disconnected and adrift. And I'm here to tell you that, yeah, dressing up like a muscular pink wolf, one of these cat things, is the cure for that. They'll solve all of your problems instantly. You get one life, so dive in. Like that dog did earlier. That was a metaphor. Probably the first bath he's had in months. That all being said, not so easy to play pool in these things, is it?
It's unrealistic.
Yeah, you're kind of your own surveillance crew now, aren't you? Oh, yeah. And of course, you know, we couldn't forget the story about Kristi Noem's husband. You guys heard about that, of course.
No.
Another Republican, I believe, revealed to be Kristi Noem husband, revealed to be a degenerate. Here we go.
Former Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is asking for privacy and prayers tonight. She's said to be devastated by a report alleging her husband has been what is being called a cross-dressing double life. Senior national correspondent Rich Edson has details tonight. Good evening, Rich.
Good evening, Brett. Well, former Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and now President Trump are responding to a report regarding Noem's husband's alleged online activities. A spokesperson tells the Daily Mail that she's devastated and that...
Show the pictures, you cowards. Show the pictures. Where
they
are they?
They aren't going to do it.
They aren't going to do it. You're right. It's Fox. We got to find somebody. Here they are.
Oh, man.
Yep. They blurred it out.
That's okay.
Yeah. Live free or die hard.
I think that's what the internet's done. Is it's fully revealed just how weird everybody is.
Yeah. And doesn't that kind of play into the whole thing? It's like we'll get everyone to be super degenerate and nasty. And then we don't look so weird by comparison, right?
Yeah, when everyone's super, no one will be.
That's right. That's right. All right,
you know,
guys.
More and more, I feel like that Welcome to the Internet song is just right on the money.
Oh, yeah. That's another banger.
Yeah. Not as much a banger as the Space is Fake one, though.
True.
Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed yourself. That was episode 126 of the Clowntown Chronicle. Remember to like, rate, subscribe, leave comment, and do all that good stuff that helps us with the algo. The more people we can get on this crazy shit, the better, right? Remember
Probably.
The donation links are in the description. If you want to send us a note, if you want to buy something, that's also on the website. Remember, there is a discount code for Sport Drink if you want it. That's CTC. 10% off. You won't regret it. Any final words, everybody?
Just don't put the sport drink in your metal water bottle and shake it up.
Yep. And enjoy your Glizilla. Everybody, I hope you had a wonderful Easter weekend, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time on the Clowntown Chronicle.
It's gonna be a good week, but today is just Monday. The circus will go on as long as we're around. The clowns have packed up their cars and they're all turned around. For now we must be on our way till our meeting next far away. It's so nice to talk with you, we'll miss you, but we'll see you next Monday.